This is a very special episode of the Ludduke Show where we're looking at pretty lights. That's all we're doing today is looking at pretty lights with my good buddy Chris from over at Pogo Linux. Say hello to the entire universe, my friend.
How's it going, everybody?
What was it? A couple months back, Pogo built me this rig that you see behind me. Well, you see the side of it behind me. You've seen it in a bunch of my videos. It's really cool. And we walked you through all the goodies that are inside of it. But what we didn't really show you was the lighting that they put in here. It is ridiculous, and it is all controllable via nice little open source all on Linux software. And so I wanted to walk you guys through, with my good buddy's help, what you can do with this, how you can lay it out, what you can make it look like, and whatnot. So to start with, what kind of lights are in here in this big rig, in this big beastly mammoth rig you guys built? What are the lights like? What are they?
So you've probably seen all these different gamer rigs that everyone's making these days, with RGB lighting on the fans and the pumps and all that kind of stuff, right?
Heck yeah.
I come from a gaming background, but I work in the server and workstation industry. And when we went to build this rig for you, I was like, you know what? I want to know if we can do some of that cool stuff that I like on our enterprise gear in one of our workstations, right? So I started looking at it, and there was only a couple pieces I could find out there.
Are you telling me that when the enterprise customers get a hold of you, they don't say, hey, we need wicked rad animated lighting inside of our enterprise gear?
Typically not.
What kind of enterprise customers are these? I mean, want to flip a table over right now.
To be fair, we do give them the cool glass side panel on their workstation and the clean build style, right? So they do get that. But so I started looking at it, right? And I'm like, okay, I know we use the water cooled pumps in our workstations that are they're considered enthusiast grade, right? Because we want to have our workstations for our customers be really quiet. And
which works well for me.
Yeah, right. It's great for studio work. But I was looking at it and I was like, okay, I know these have the RGB lights on them, and on a lot of them, we just turn that off, right? Because we're selling to, scientists and, people at schools, and they're just like, just give me a box. I want it to be fast. I just want to sit in the corner.
They don't need the spinning rainbow circle.
Exactly. They don't.
I do. It is absolutely mandatory. I didn't know I needed it.
You never did. You never did until you have it.
Yeah.
It's like having a Ferrari. You don't really know you need it until you have it. Not that I have one.
I wish I had one. I mean, I can't.
But you don't know you need it.
I don't know that I need it. Exactly. I kind of want to know that I need it now. All right, you were saying.
So anyway, so I started looking, and there's a company called NZXT that makes their Kraken series water coolers, right? So we've dabbled with a few different manufacturers of these closed loop water coolers for our workstations. And NZXT was the only one that I could find that actually has an open source tool to allow you to interface with the pump to control your lighting and your fan speed and get sensors from your pump. So we were able to find an open source project on GitHub by a gentleman that basically gives you command line access to run all the fancy gadgets in that cooler. So that was the first thing we found. And I was like, okay, this is going to be cool. We can, play with the little light, make it purple, make it spin, whatever we want to do.
Yeah.
And then it kind of led me down a rabbit hole, as the internet usually does. And we were able to find, they have another product called the Hue Plus. And in your workstation, you can probably see it. It's right below your gigabyte graphics card there. You can just barely make it out. Just that little white line that you can just kind of see right there.
Little white guy right there.
Exactly. And what that is that's basically a lighting control module for the standard LED strip lights that you see in a lot of these different gaming rigs that you can buy, right? So I found that, and then I found another open source GitHub project that gives you a full GUI and the ability to control all these multi-channel lights. And there you go. So with that little bundle of joy, we are now able to give you full custom lighting in a rig powered by Linux with open source utilities. And I thought that was pretty cool and just added a little touch of something special on this workstation we did.
A little cool. That's ridiculously cool. Oh my heavens. So you guys loaded this up for me. And when we did the video, like you guys had it all set up with like a ton of like command line scripts to start off animations where the colors matched like the outside of the case. It was all
Hmm.
wicked cool. And of course, the first thing I did was I created a new user account on the system that you guys made, and so none of those ever kicked off. And so we were doing the video talking about it, and just no lights were running. And we figured out that. So we're just gonna talk about this. What I love is not only is this scriptable, but there's a really nice, easy to use UI for it. I mean, it's not like the fanciest application in the world, but it lets you get the job done. And I kind of wanted to just walk people through a little bit of what you could do with it, because it's really cool. Here, before I go through like some of this stuff that you can do, I'm going to show you guys up close. So we've got lighting strips along the bottom here and along the side. And then there's that really cool heat sink with the spinning thing. And I just love that. And then along the top, we've got all along that. And then there's all along the front as well. So, okay, get back into place. There we go. Good job, camera. A little bit over. There you go. All right. Now, one thing that you can do is just make a simple light, right? So let's just delete these colors. You go into this Hue plus. Hue _ application. You can say whatever color you want. So like in this case, I'm setting it to be a dark red. Really simple. You hit apply. It sends basically a command line behind the scenes. All the lights go out, and then boom, they're back and rocking. And oh my gosh. I mean, that's ambient lighting right there. That's what I'm talking about. None of this, I've got a TV that puts a little bit of color on the side of it thing. This is like, this is legit. But it also does a ton of other little things. I'm going to go over here and add one. This is called breathing. I'm just going to make this red and blue and just crank up the speed on it. Hit apply, and then it's going to breathe. In and out, baby. And all of it's scriptable, so you can have these scripts in a command line. And what Pogo did was really smart, but I didn't even know they did it, was they put it in a nice little cron job, and they had little scripts that kicked off, so it just had all of it ready to go. So you can have this, so when you log in, you can have your system turns on in your script. You could have it have a certain color and like animation, and then as you log in, it could change the colors and animation to go with it. So you could literally time like all of your various system events to have different colors, different animations, different cycles, different everything, which is completely useless and utterly wonderful in every possible sense of the word.
Well, there's also the ability, though, since it is scriptable with Linux, you could theoretically tie it in with things like system sensors. So if your temperature gets out of whack, you could have all the lights start pulsing red at you to know that your computer's overheating. There's all kinds. There's a lot of different things you can do with it because it is scriptable. So anything that you could tie in with Linux, you could theoretically tie in with the lighting to alert you of any manner of different things, right?
Yeah. I hadn't even really thought of that.
See, there's a usefulness to it.
There is a usefulness. I was
That's
just
how we
saying it was
justify things like this. Is we have to have a justification that it could be useful in some way.
All right, I'm gonna do a little marquee now, because you need a little marquee spinning around the top there. Come on, there we go. Yeah, it's just fun. Just random bits of fun. Hold on, let's do a slightly different marquee. It's got about 1 million different settings in here, half of which I don't fully know what all of them do. I've just been playing with them nonstop. I don't have that going very fast. I have that going very slow. Let's do a pulse.
The really fun one our CEO liked is, I forget which one it is because I can't really see it, but there's one that you can totally get the old school Knight Rider or the Cylon.
Oh, yes.
If you're a Battlestar fan, you can get the full Cylon back and forth.
And then I kind of liked the pulse because it goes like hardcore, like dubstep, like you can like sync it up to your music almost, just like it's a nightclub, which I dig.
Now the software supposedly actually has an audio level control. I never actually played with it.
It does actually. So let's try it.
I don't even know if it works. Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead like this. All right. So now we sent it in.
Oh,
Oh, holy crud muffins.
It's responding to your voice. It's
It's
become
responding to my
self-aware.
voice. It's become self-aware. Can I? Oh, do you see that along the top, everybody? I've got an EQ up the top of my case. Hold on, I'm gonna apply. Change the colors up. I'm adding 2 colors in. What happens if I have 2 colors?
Oh, look at that.
Oh, my brain just exploded. I need 3 colors. What happens if I have 3 colors? Let's add a 3rd color. Let's just straight up like blue or something. All right, it's gonna take a second. Get to those commands. Oh, my life is more complete now than it was this morning. I didn't even know. I hadn't even tried that before.
Everybody's going to wonder why you're just screaming at the top of your lungs at your computer just to make the lights turn on.
Oh, that's the coolest thing that has ever happened in all of humanity. This literally makes up for any calamity that happens in the universe. Just this right here. I've got this is awesome. I didn't know it did the audio. Oh, and I can choose the colors. Oh my gosh. I didn't know it did that.
So
that's so rad.
We need a Twitter post with like some serious dubstep and a video of
rocking.
this.
Oh, holy moles. What else do we got here? What do wings do? Here's wings. I don't even know what wings. I'm going to choose some real frou-frou-y colors here. Let's go. All right, cyan. Give me cyan wings. Make it go fast. I don't know why. Give me fast cyan wings. Oh, that is cool. Oh. I need to slow that down. That's too fast. Come on. Give me some mid.
I think you need to do a seizure warning for this episode.
Oh, holy smokes. Hold on. Hold your horses. Yeah, let's go with all right, let's go with like a
you need like a pogo
magenta.
You need like a pogo purple in there. Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Oh, that looks insanely cool. This episode is mostly me laughing. This is so cool. And the fact that you can do this all via scripts is awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, you can do pretty much whatever you want, and
pretty much anything.
The projects are on GitHub. I can give you the links if you want to send them out for anyone that wants to do this too. But I mean, the level of complexity, like they're talking here about the different positional arguments: fixed, breathing, fading, marquee, cover marquee, pulse, spectrum, alternating, candlelight, wings, audio.
You guys seeing the candlelight one? I don't know if you guys can see it fully here, but they're flickering ever so slightly. Like a candle flame. Oh. That's so cool. I mean, though, that wings one, that was something special. Hold on, let's do some random weird colors here. Let's go lime green and what is this? Like a violet? I don't know what that is. We're gonna click on that. Yeah, we're gonna use the alternating option. All right, so that's just cool. Can I add more colors to that? I can only have 2. Dude, I'm going. Oh. And then you can do a whole bunch of like custom animations and whatnot, and kind of build profiles inside the applications. But realistically, doing the custom animations is kind of a pain inside the application. I kind of recommend doing that inside. Let's see here. I recommend doing that in a shell script. So I should send one over here. Huh? What's your root password? There it is. Now you guys know my root password via the sound of the keyboard. And this particular animation just has it up at the top at the moment. But you can kind of see that up in there as it rocks out slowly. I love it. I love it. Before we talk further, I need to make this go back to that wings thing. Where was that wings at? That changed my life. Yeah, come on, wings. There we go. I want to make it go slow. Slow wings. See, this is what you need to do, everybody. All right. What was the brand of these lights again?
So these are from NZXT.
Okay, these are NZXT, and then that little white box. What was that one called?
That's called the Hue Plus.
The Hue Plus from NZXT, and I'll put a link to the GitHub stuff and everything like that in the notes for this, so people can just go check it out. Holy smokes. Like, why don't everybody have this? Why don't, like, the big makers of, like, desktop computers, like you know what I mean, like the big pre-made box in the stores kind of computer makers, why don't they have fancy lights in their thing? It's just
They're getting there. They're getting there.
they should. All of them should. It's a travesty that this isn't just common. I did
You
not
can
know how
buy
awesome this was.
you can buy almost any component for an enthusiast level PC now with RGB lighting. Motherboards, graphics cards, water coolers, fans, chassis. Um, they've got it on the motherboard. They've got it in the they've even got it in the memory modules now, where you can literally have full RGB on the memory modules themselves. Then you can tie it into the big
Wait a
wall
minute.
mounted. Yes,
Wait, RGB on your RAM?
RGB on your RAM. You can do it on almost anything now. You can have it in your keyboard, your mouse.
I was about to make fun of that, but then I thought, I kind of want RGB on my RAM.
And if you stay in the same ecosystem from whatever vendor, you can get it to the point where they literally all do the same thing all together. Every component, every fan, every module, everything. It's crazy. It's
That's the most
definitely a
wonderful
rabbit
thing.
hole where you could spend hundreds of dollars just on goofy lights for the inside of your computer these days.
This is the coolest thing. Oh heavens, yeah! And the fact that I can do it all from Linux is great, because I mean, like I've seen plenty of people do this, you know, from their stupid Windows PCs and whatnot, but I don't do that. You know, homie don't play like that, and I now that I can do it like this, I honestly I had kind of written it off. Like I'd written off that as something that I could have in my life, because I'm like, okay, I have my Linux machines, and yeah, all the drivers are supported now for all my graphics card, and I don't have any Wi-Fi problems anymore. But there's no way I'm getting all these the custom fancy lights. You guys made it possible. You guys showed me the way.
It's
Oh.
way easier than it's ever been, I feel like, to have a gaming rig in a full Linux environment. You know, Steam is out for Linux.
Oh,
A
dude.
lot of their games are supported under Linux. We're seeing more VR adoption under Linux. Um, I mean,
This
it's
machine, by the
definitely
way,
something that's doable.
I this machine, does it play games? Holy smokes, does it play games? I like one of the first things I did, like we plopped this down, and you know, I unpacked it and got it all set up, and once I kind of finished touching it repeatedly, I sat down. It's really hard not to. You guys have seen it. It's insane looking. It's beautiful. But I got all my video production stuff set up. I tested it out, and I'm like, okay, that's working great. Instantly, I put Steam on here, and was like, I'm like, what are the most demanding games I can possibly find? Like Ark and everything else. I'm like, let's just, even if I don't even play this game, let's just load them up on here, crank everything to the max, and just geek out over the fact that I have the frame rate basically capped out at 60 or plus. And it was just, oh, it was the most beautiful thing ever. I kind of wish I had more time to play games, just because I have this sitting behind me. And now that I realize I can pipe in the sound through the lights, I can play games with the lights going crazy to the sound of whatever game I'm playing right behind me. And that just makes my life better. That's awesome. I'm gonna put the links to all this in the notes. I don't normally put links to things in my show notes. I demand that people search for it themselves and find it themselves. Probably because I'm really lazy. But for this time,
They're pretty obscure.
this time it deserves to have some links. So I'm gonna put it in there. But Hue Plus and Hue _ Plus is the GUI application that you've got up on the screen right now. And it's just the greatest thing ever. Is there anything you want to tell people about these lights in this rig that we haven't covered in between me giggling like a schoolboy?
If you're going to do it yourself, be prepared. So the time it took us to install these lights in a way that I thought was acceptable, just to fit them all in and figure out, that took days. So if you're going to do it, just be ready that it's to do it really nice. It's going to be a project, but it's worth the payoff, obviously, as you can see. So,
oh, dude, and speaking as someone who did none of the work, totally worth it, 100%. Oh, you gotta get a close in on this. I mean, oh man, I mean, That is everything that every kid in the 80s wanted to do with their machines. Like being able to see all the guts and have them lit like that. Like Knight Rider. Like Kit. You know? You wanted him to be... Oh, now I kind of want to get recordings of Kit and have it play when it logs in and have it start doing the...
There you go.
Oh, hold on. Hold on. I need to make this deep red real quick before we head off into the sunset. Maybe like this. Is this going to look right?
There it is. Cue the music.
Dun, 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 dun. That is awesome. It makes me want to kick my shoes off and start running around wearing a leather jacket and sunglasses. This is awesome. This is so awesome. Man, thank you for taking the time to make this the raddest thing I've ever had behind me. Like, this is the coolest computer I have ever had, and it has these lights in it. All right, so if any of you guys want to do this, go check out the links in that. And if you want that rig, you can't have that rig, but you can have a rig in a case that's like that. Let's see, what's this case called? It's the Tempest.
That's our Tempest T6.
Tempest T6 over on Pogo Linux's website. That's awesome. All right, that's it's funny. We're gonna be done recording this, and I'm gonna hang up with you. And I've got just like a little bit of time before I gotta head off and do my other thing. I'm gonna spend every second I have available just going through more iterations of what I can do with the.
I think half of that's going to be you yelling at the audio input one, just to see how far around you can get the lights to light up.
It absolutely is.
That's what it's going to be.
All right, let's go back to the audio real quick. Hold on. I'm gonna get rid of this teal. I like the red and the blue. Ooh, I can adjust the tolerance and the smoothness levels.
Oh, pull the tolerance down or up, maybe.
Let's see which way should I make it? It's 1 right now. Tell me what number you want it to be.
Like 0.5. See what that does.
0.5, baby. Reset. Takes a second. There we go. Yeah.
Looks like it's responding more, maybe.
It is. I'm gonna make that tolerance 0.2. Smoothness. I don't want smoothness. Let's make it 1. Let's see what that does. All right, thinking. And yeah.
I feel like that's less tolerant. Crank the tolerance up to like 10.
Yeah.
Just go all the way.
I like your style, man. We should have turned it to 11. We had a missed opportunity there. Yeah. All right. That's all right. Smoothness. Let's go smoothness 10. Tolerance 10, smoothness 10. What's it going to do? We don't know. We have absolutely no idea. The smoothness kind of slows it down a little bit. All right. It kind of smooths it out. I see.
Yeah. The tolerance, try tolerance like 0.1, I guess. Because 10 didn't do much. I want the lights to go all the way around the case.
Here we go. 0.1, smoothness 2. Resetting. Boom. No. There we go. A little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. That requires further investigation, I think.
I think it really does. I'm going to be playing with this one for a long time. Well, Chris, the rest of the Pogo crew, thank you for being awesome. For putting together cool lights and things. And thank you for making sure that cool lights went in this rig. Again, did not know I needed it. Now I know that I can't live without it. And now I kind of want a Ferrari that has the same lights on it.
Exactly. If you have enough money, you can have one, I'm sure.
I got a little ways to go on that quest, but
Me too.
I could get like an old Volvo and put lights on that.
You could.
Yeah,
you could.
I mean
these same lights work on 12 volts, so you could put them in your Volvo.
Oh, so ridiculous.
Future project: old Volvo,
old
plus light kit, Raspberry Pi Linux box
on my old Volvo,
and then you can just roll down the street yelling at your car, and it will light up as you yell.
You know what? I kind of just want to get like an old like an early 90s Toyota Corolla and put the Knight Rider lights along the front. uh, using this and make it all customizable, because I just feel like the idea of an artificial intelligence, wicked, awesome, fully lit up old Toyota Corolla is just very entertaining to me. Like I want it to be like a $700 car with like $1,400 worth of lighting and computing equipment inside of it just to
There you
make the
go.
lighting cool.
There you go.
Yeah. All right, everybody. That's all we had. I just wanted to play with cool lighting. You know what? I got to play with the audio thing more. That's just rad. Head on over, pogolinux.com. Anything else you want to say as we head off into the sunset, my friend?
Just give us a call if you want a fancy workstation as well.
That's a pretty reasonable thing to say. I'll see everybody later.